Always welcome. Good morning. It is Thursday morning here and Wednesday night, Americans, wherever else you're tuning in. Welcome. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Where you guys are coming from. And I woke up this morning. I went to bed last night on my betting book with maybe, we'll say, 20 boxing options. There's like 50 now. There's so many cards. There's so much. I think this is gonna be an awesome weekend to make money, but it's also in terms of what we're gonna pick. Like always, you guys. I know some of you guys tail my long parlays. You know, you're welcome to do that. We've hit out a 70 out of a lot of 72, but if anything, as I think about this more and more, my whole job here, my whole intention is to just highlight and showcase where my head's at with some of these fights, and then with you guys, because a lot of you guys know your boxing equally, you guys can pick and choose as well, so you don't always have to tail. What's up, Sed? Appreciate you. Cedric Walcott in the house. Why do you think they sent Edwin the contract? Top nose with, yeah. And meme, I still can't. I'm watching mad tape. What's up, goat? Even though I've already given my prediction on some of the fights that I've covered on the channel, and I've already showed you in the community section a couple bets I've already put in, that doesn't mean my tape study stops. Just like you guys, I'm watching everything. This Edwin De Los Santos Keyshawn fight is interesting, man. And what's up, meme? And especially when you look at rewatching the Joseph Adorno fight, rewatching the Rayo Valenzuela fight, the thing that Edwin De Los Santos, as I'm watching more and more of his tape, did really well prior to the layoff is his counters. And it's something I really didn't cover in my breakdown. It's something I really didn't see initially when I was watching his tape, because everybody falls in love with that power. What's up, Johnny? What do you think of Boca Chica? Monica? Tiger Johnson is one of my favorite prospects. I'm glad you asked about that fight. That fight's flying under the radar. Tiger, Rafael, what's up? Tiger, he's moved up to 147. His last fight was hit for 147. He looked good. I think that weight class is going to be great for him, and I think he's going to look great against Bocachina, man. It's a fight that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the feature, but I think the matchup suits him well. What's up, Rafael Luna? I think that matchup suits him well. Figueroa, Boca Chica, he has a few losses, but I think Tiger Johnson is next, man. Like, I'm high on Tiger Johnson, especially what we're seeing in the development of his game, what we saw in his last fight. I think with that frame, with his fight style, his technicality, his timing, how sharp he is with his punches, how accurate. Tiger doesn't waste a lot of things. I think what's going to happen as he matures and levels up, I think he's going to start getting more and more stoppages, believe it or not. He has that. When you look at not guys who stop guys historically, it's not always the one punch guys. A lot of the longer fighters, the longer boxers, they have a certain torque on their shots, and it's the velocity and the timing that gets the stoppages. And I think we're gonna see that with Tiger. I'm going heavy for my standards on either fighter being knocked down in key first DLS. I think we're gonna see that. I think that's why the Keyshawn and DLS fight is intriguing, because I think Keyshawn is going to be tested in ways we really haven't seen him tested yet. But I think a lot of people who aren't sold on Keyshawn, I think this fight is going to help them be so. I see like a multi-divisional world champion in Keyshawn. And more importantly, the mindset. We're just going to see, and he's a finisher. The work he's doing with Bomac for the Glazing Key kids, in my opinion, I don't think it's warranted. Tiger sat on shots last fight. Yeah. I don't know if people glaze Key. I see a lot of people picking De Los Santos. I hear a lot of people not really liking what they see with Keyshawn. I don't have a prop with Abdullah, but why not keep rolling with the momentum? When I look at guys like Mason, Delonte Johnson versus Polanco, is Tiger ready for Polanco? I'm huge on Polanco. Rahan Polanco is a very quality fighter that looks like he has world champion all over him, future world champion. He just fought a few weeks ago. We covered him. I don't know if Tiger's quite ready for that fight yet. I'd give him a couple more fights to get there. But with Abdullah Mason, to answer your question, when I look at Abdullah Mason, if you got that prop bet, the same way I look at any fighter who's on a knockout streak, why not just keep taking them until you don't see it? And I don't have the knockout prop bet, man. Right now, Keyshawn isn't getting upset. That's what I'm saying, man. Dude, Norfolk, Virginia, his hometown, his family. We've seen And look at the energy around how he carries him. There's nothing that I see in Keyshawn. There's no interviews that I see he gives. There's nothing that he says in the press. There's nothing that I don't believe. And we can't say that with all of our fighters, guys. You can't say that with even some champions. Sometimes guys will say things just because they feel it's the right thing to say. And it's not really in them to say those things. They don't carry that certain energy. It's kind of like, I'm hearing a lot fight week. People are comparing. They're saying they see in Keyshawn what they saw in Bud Crawford. And I'm hearing guys like Antonio Tarver comparing Keyshawn to Bud Crawford, not necessarily on their fight style, but with their energy. And I think I could see that alignment. You never hear Bud say anything that you ever sit back and say, man, I don't believe Bud when he said that. Everything Bud says, you believe. And I see similarities with Keyshawn. I believe he catches him in between shots and can put him down. I could see that too. I think we're looking at a really, really special champion with Keshan Davis. And Edwin De Los Santos poses that matchup for him to prove some of the naysayers. If they're, the people who are picking De Los Santos give him that power advantage. And everybody talks about interviews that Brian Norman Jr. did because BNJ said that he sparred with him and he hits harder than everyone. I don't buy that. I think people sleep on Keyshawn's power because of they don't see his power, his timing, and his ability to catch people. That's power as well. Off subject, I see O'Malley beating Merab this weekend could be a good addition. Landslide, I'm watching that too. I watch all the UFC fights. I just don't mix and match. I don't combine two worlds. I mean, to beat Merab is an animal. They call him the machine for a reason. That pace and cardio. He is getting a bit older. We'll see. If Key stops Edwin, Shakur beats Zepeda, and Tank knocks out Roach, who has the best resume with 35. And GOAT, that's my point about Keyshawn. I think a narrative that I haven't seen anybody going with, I brought it up yesterday, is that I think in Keyshawn's head, he looks at, what's up, Don Julio? Appreciate everybody. I think Keyshawn's like, my boy Cora couldn't stop De Los Santos. If I stop De Los Santos, what are they going to say about me now? And I think he's going to – there's no way Keyshawn's going to try – to just win a points. He's going to fight him. And that's why it's interesting. Keyshawn's going to fight him. Guys, wherever you are, like this video. 28 people watching. Appreciate it if you like it. It helps the video. We got a couple I'm releasing today the Junto Nakatani fight. What's up, Fast Car in the house? Hitman Hearns, love that name. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm releasing the Junto Nakatani fight feature today, as well as the Jaya Patai feature. It's tough for me to get up on releasing the Jai fight, but I have to. I wish Jai would be fighting somebody a little bit more, durable. Everyone jab at the leg, appreciate it. But there's a lot of fights to cover, guys. There's a Hall of Fame car. I think everybody's sleeping on Edwin. I don't know if anyone is sleeping on Edwin De Los Santos, but when you have guys, Edwin's 25 years old. I mentioned that, and I talked about it in my feature. A lot of people don't understand. Edwin's younger than Keyshawn, which sounds crazy. And Edwin, he's a hell of a world-class fighter. So when you have two world-class fighters at the highest level who are 25, 26, you gotta. How do you get past the inactivity? How do you get past the fact that we haven't seen him since Shakur? How do you get past the fact that Keyshawn fought 3 times in 2024 and he's fought once in 2025? If they're marginal even here, you have to talk about that. Exactly. That should come into play with whenever you're making your decision, unless you're a fanboy for one guy or the other. Each fighter, and we know this in boxing, guys are gonna. I know. Uncanny. If you're in Australia, it is crazy work. I'm live streaming here at 6:30 in the morning, just because Monday through Friday, I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I have my own gym down here, and I have a client who comes to see me at 5:15 a.m. He's a savage. And then I have a break. So I put this live stream in between my 5 a.m. client and my 7 a.m. Hooney, F the world. I'm picking Hooney. But I am worried about that fight. I've been watching a lot of tape on Fabio and a lot of the Brits. All of the UK's picking Fabio. Not many people know about Hooney. Koki, appreciate you. Hooney, amateur pedigree. He's a technical boxer. He got rattled in his, we saw him wobbly leg once. There's the footage of sparring going on where he got, what's up, Rich Blackman, where Hooney got wobbled as well. And Fabio's a tough dude. Fabio has that, uncanny power. He put a dent in Fraser Clark's forehead last fight. But we did see Fabio struggle with the boxing acumen of Fraser in the first fight. What do you think about Joseph Hicks and Wendy Toussaint? I saw that, Don Julio. I saw that fight. That was one of the fights that got released on my book that is allowing us to bet on. Joseph Hicks, 12-0, ranked number 59 in the world. Wendy Toussaint, ranked number 80, 16-3. That fight's going down at super welterweight. I really don't. Getting a dent in your head is truly insane. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy work. It just shows you how heavy Fabio's hands are. So I am worried. I'm not confident, but I'm confident in my approach in terms of my reasoning. In terms of I'm leaning on at the boxing acumen of Huni to go in there and get an upset. But I put a cheeky 4-leg parlay and I did a 20. We're seeing if we can rewind some of that magic from 2 weeks ago when I hit a 17-leg parlay. We got a 20-leg parlay with a lot of these fights. Joseph Hicks is at $127. Yeah, and I like Hicks to win that fight. I miss him to Koki. He lost his last 5 fights. Are we talking about Tiger? Who are we talking there? Because I know some of you guys were up on. Yeah, some of you guys were up on Boca Chica, and that's a point I wanted to mention. Guys, Boca Chica hasn't won a fight in 5 years. He's fighting Tiger Johnson. And, he has a decent record, but, he hasn't won a fight since Mark Reyes in 2021. He drew against Shenard Bunch. He lost to Roman Villa. He lost to Palmeida. No contest against Norman Jr. because the cuts. Quentin Randall he lost. So I don't think there's an upset alert with the Tiger Johnson fight at all. I think Tiger Johnson is going to get his flowers after how he looks. He didn't lose his last fight. Yeah, he lost 3. He just hasn't won in 5 years. For Huni to win, it'll need to be some rounds into, but we'll find out. Yeah, and Huni's going to be a lot bigger than a lot of you guys think. Huni's a big dude. Huni's thick. Like, you look at Huni, and Fabio's a big dude. But I think Huni, he's not going to be the taller guy. There's slightly. I watched the face-off. It looks like Fabio's going to be about an inch taller. But if you guys never seen Huni fight and box and his angles, he's going to impress people. What's your pick for? I missed that one, guys. He's on his way to 5 when his last win, bro. It's in Ipswich football ground, so I think we'll see the best 100. I expect so. Fabio, you can tell a lot at the weigh-in if a fighter shows up looking. Yeah, Golden Boy, we're right on track. We see eye to eye. I love watching the weigh-ins. Even the face-offs, guys. Some of these fights, I know that they had the face-offs, the Joshua Kelly card. They had the face-offs, and then the weigh-ins will be, I think, tomorrow. And you kind of see body language. I was actually kind of impressed with how big Flavio is. So it's a fight I covered. Flavio Bea, he's an unknown Romanian. He has 1 loss. He should get washed against Kelly, but he's actually bigger than Kelly. Boca Chica hasn't fought slouches. All his losses were UD against solid guys. Yeah, but Koki, in terms of Koki, you bring up a good point. But in terms of the mental aspect you got to bring to the game psychologically, when you haven't won a fight since 2021, and you're fighting a guy like Delonte Johnson, Tiger Johnson, does Boca Chica really want to win the fight? Is he going there for a payday? Callum Simpson, fight flying under the radar. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, Callum Simpson. I'm high on Callum Simpson, man. Number 13 in the world, 17-0. Ivan Zuko is a tough opponent. Zuko's 21-0, undefeated. That's one of those fights where it's a European belt. The winner will propel themselves to the world level, at least get an opportunity or maybe a title eliminator fight. Should fight Ricardo Salas. Yeah. In meme, it's going to come down. So I'm taking Callum on that fight, guys, against Zuko. It'll be a good fight, though. Tiger Johnson, it's good in top rank. They're keeping him active. We just saw him fight a few months back. And I think activity is going to play in a role with Tiger's progress. Also matchmaking. Salas is a good fight. But 147, that's a perfect weight class now for a lot of these younger guys. These call them, fringe contenders or, guys trying to make their mark. There's room for superstars to come out of nowhere. I think, it's one of these divisions right now where, people aren't. Mario Barrios is a champ. Brian Norman Jr. is a champ. Boots Ennis. How long is Boots going to stay there? Boots is, flirted with the idea of going to 54. So I think there's an opportunity for guys to come out the woodwork to present themselves as future stars. Boca Chica, Quentin Randall. That's the fight. great point, Don Julio. And the Randall fight is my question on how much does Boca Chica even want to be? Like, where's his willingness to progress in his career? You haven't got a dub since 2021. It's almost half of a decade. So it's kind of like that. Is that willingness there? You know, I think it's Tiger. I think it's from what I saw in Tiger last fight versus the fight before, his progress so quickly, his settling into the 147-pound division with his body type and his sort of natural physique. I think Boca Chica is a perfect opportunity for him to look good again. And I totally expect that. I don't see a guy like Tiger to take a step back. Who said Randall is better than Tiger? Randall isn't bad himself. I think we're focusing on what, yeah, but I think because Tiger's not fighting Randall, we're looking at the version that we saw of Boca Chica, and how could we expect that to look any different against Tiger? Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good resume. It's a good resume. But, so, Koki, are you taking Tiger to lose? Neil White, repeat. Neil, come on. If you're asking me a question, you know, sometimes it helps to do that little, what do some of the streamers say? You tip? How about you tip so I can see it? You didn't see the question. All right, Neil, you coming at me all aggressive? I used to talk with the sparring partner, Barrios. Word was he was in Primo Royce. Yeah, Barrios, I don't like the naysay. Ugas is still 26. I'm just saying. Interesting. Okay, it's a good point. I didn't know Boca Chica was 26. What's up, Rando? Hey, better now than never. Wherever you're tuning in, guys, like this video. Let's keep this boxing chat going. Neil, re-ask that question, mate. You're being aggressive, so I like it. PJ in the house. Hello. Always welcome, PJ. You guys are always welcome on the show. I got 2 more videos I'm putting out today. The Junto fight, the Jai fight. Bro, I'm doing is ask a question then, mate. Oh, is who better? Tiger and Davis. Neil, is who better? Tiger and Davis, easy money. I feel you. US in the house. Chill, Neil. Yeah, is who better? Before we move on. But yeah, we got a lot of fights to cover. I'm going to do one more live stream today as well to talk about the Japanese card. All right, PJ, I put a 4-legger and a 20-legger. You coming from the perspective of someone who saw 2 Boca Chica fights. Is he better? Okay, so if we're asking, is Tiger better than Boca Chica? I think Santos' style really suits Keyshawn. Same. Alamo, Tiger's very hittable. Yeah, but Tiger's not the same guy. And Alamo, you know, Alamo has a decent resume. Alamo's one of those guys, every time he steps up, never, you know, there's these guys, you know, they on the world level that just because they don't win the world-class fights, they're still on the world level. 20, like, I know, GOAT, I hit a 20, GOAT, I hit a 17 2 weeks ago. You got to go 20 legs. There's so many fights. Are your books in America giving you all these fights that we're getting in Australia? Because we have the Hall of Fame fights. We have the fights in, I don't see the Tiger fight either. Okay. So we have that Montreal card. What's up, Badger? There's a Montreal card that has a lot of money with 2 top 20 light heavyweights. There's a Turkish undefeated You don't know where I'm coming from. I said plenty of times I'm asking you a question, assume what you want. Yeah, man, we're getting a lot of fights on FanDuel. Okay, so the first card we're being offered is the Montreal card with there's 2 separate fights in the top 20. Missing the 20 fights. Most broke around here stop at 12 legs. That's insane. Our book in Sydney stops at 22 legs. So I could do a 22-legger, and I usually save that for college football. You know, the first 4 weeks, I win a lot of money, guys, the first 4 weeks of college football before conference play starts. Who you got in that co-main? Nakatani. Johnny, you got Nell about to crash. Guys, the longer you hang around my channel, I appreciate you. The longer you hang around my channel, man, I don't take life too serious. Don't get emotional, guys. My book has the lines up. We over 40 fights. Yes! Kenny Chio, same. It's crazy. So I like Unal. Mehmet Unal is a former boxer. He's undefeated. He's fighting John. And then Biaslanov. Neil's going to crash out. I'll print all these out because we got a lot. Tonight, my second live stream, I'm going to give you my YouTube channel parlay, the one where, you know, we got Josh Kelly. We get the fight. We got Josh Kelly. I'm taking, obviously, Hooney. I'm taking, obviously, Keyshawn. I'm taking Nakatani. I'm taking Apataya, which the odds on those 2 are low. Somebody asked me about the co-main on the Nakatani card, which is a good fight. You had a chance to make a point. You failed. Slick the 10. Yeah, guys, if you're new to the channel, you got to understand the people who follow my channel, my page, teach me just as much as I teach them about boxing, and I've been in the game since I was 7. So there are true blue boxing fans, boxing heads here who not only know the sport, but they're going to bet. Say that when Tiger... Oh, yeah, Neil, we're on the same page. I think Tiger's winning that fight. You're glad. Okay, Cookie. So, all right, so we have a healthy debate. One's going for Tiger, and one's basically saying that don't sleep on Boca Chica, and I agree with that. Santillan think he could upset the main Nakatani. Santillan's a good fighter. I'm sure girlfriend Julia's jealous. I don't know, man. I don't know if I see an upset in Japan. Neil White. I don't know if I see an upset in Japan on that co-main. There's a few upset, like, I know a lot of people are high on Albright to upset Keyshawn's brother. Why do you think Wardley's going to lose? PJ, I'm leaning, my reasoning why I think Hooney wins is I just think Hooney's the better boxer. But the narrative is going to be power versus boxing skills. We saw Wardley fight a better boxer again in terms of boxing skills, his movement around the ring against Fraser Clark the first time. He got his nose busted up and went to a draw. But we saw the second time the adjustments made, we saw what happened. Fabio starched him in the first round. So I'm leaning and reasoning on the fact that I think Hooney's a better boxer than Fraser Clark. Hooney moves around the ring more. What about Nakatila? I think I don't think Nakatila beats Abdullah Mason. I think Abdullah Mason is the real deal. I'm really high on Abdullah. And, Abdullah Mason is the dude, mate. He does a lot. And once again, he's not chinny. He got dropped and stopped his opponent. That doesn't mean he's chinny. Who's the American heavyweight right now? It's a great question, mate. I like you guys might come at me for this, but I'm a big fan of Kiki. Kiki's one of my favorite heavyweights right now, even though he's a smaller heavyweight. Smaller per se, considering the big boys. He's fun to watch. He's not a finished product, but Richard Torres is. I like watching when Richard Torres fights. What you was about to say. Was I talking Mason? I feel Mason's not chinny. NUA is not chinny. These guys are tough as nails. It takes having a solid chin to get dropped and stand up and knock your opponent out. Yeah, we don't have an American heavyweight. Like I said, I like, I'm not saying he's going to be a world-class Hall of Famer. I like watching Kiki Torres. He's young. He's still developing, and I think that if he keeps leveling up, going through the gears and stepping his game up, he might have to, travel out of, he might have to leave California or, I'd like to see him travel a bit more for sparring partners, but we'll see. Wardley. Oh, okay. So Fabio, I'm just PJ, I'm siding on the fact that I think Hooney is going to surprise you guys with his speed, his reflexes, his angles. He has really good feet. He has really good understanding of the game itself, how to win points, how to win rounds. He's just going to have to circle away from that power. Is a live dog. I don't see Nakatila as a live dog, dude. I don't know, man. I think Abdullah Mason is the dog. I think Abdullah Mason, people, whenever you see, I still need to watch tape on Junto's opponent. 160 for Junto seems generous. I think so, too. Torres is okay. Yeah. Rando, exactly. So I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, Kiki, but personality, I think he could level up his skill set. I think he's learning with each fight. Word on the street saying Nishida is suspect. Yeah, some hand history vault. I read, you sent me that message earlier, hand history vault. I looked into it and you were spot on. I think that if you could take Junto by stoppage, late stoppage, I thought Anderson. If you look how Nakatani goes about his work, he's not. He's a different fighter than Inoue. People try to get totally different fighter than Inoue. Nakatani doesn't have that volume. Nakatani's more precise, and he takes a little bit longer. He kind of warms into his work. I like Nakatani by late stoppage against, Rashida. And I'm going to be giving you my prediction. That video is getting uploaded today. The heavyweight question in America is a great question to talk about. We saw that our boy Deontay's fighting Herndon. That became official, but I don't know, man. Who carries the torch, right? There's the kid. He fought last weekend. He's only 2-0. His name's slipping my mind. He was a American Olympian. He fought twice in the last 3 months, and both wins are against guys. 2 wins, 2 first-round stoppages. If you guys know who I'm talking, what's his nickname? They call him like he has some heat on him. Andrew Maloney, Junto sparked him out. Yeah. And you got to look prospects. Yeah. Koki, do you know the prospect I'm talking about? The American heavyweight. He just fought last weekend on the undercard. He might have been on the undercard of Johnny Mansour, the Hollywood Fight Night. I think I've seen him on the undercard twice on the Johnny Mansour undercard. And he's 2-0. He was an Olympian, 2-0 with 2 knockouts. Yeah, I think he wears the USA. Abdullah, Troy, Yuri, Keyshawn. Yeah. Hitchens. You're thinking ahead. You're thinking that George fight. There's a lot of fights, guys. I don't like creating parlays separate weeks. And now what I'm learning is I don't even like creating parlays connected on separate days. And so I am doing that today. Yeah, GOAT. That's exactly what I'm talking about. His mom and dad are always in the first row, and he always knocks his first 2 fights knocks the dude out. They let him sit in the booth. They let him talk. And I'm like, this dude is a nice prospect. I got to start. I thought I wrote his name down, but I know he was on one of our winning parlays. We picked him by stoppage. We got him. More money, you should do it. Yeah, King. But King, there's so many fights, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, peep game. He looks good. I can't remember his name. The fights I'm getting on for tomorrow. We got Unai, Movladov, Chris Guerrero's fighting. Albert Ramirez is fighting. Bryce Mill, and then Saturday we got that Hall of Fame card. Let's go over your parlays for tomorrow. I have Hitchens against Cambosis. So I have that long ass parlay. I'll go over I'll give you, and if you like Hooney, take this, and if you like Fabio, just switch that out. But this ticket is paying 5-1, and I posted this in our community section. Like I said, I'm taking Hooney. This is just a money line 4-legger. It pays 5-1. If you like Hooney, I'm taking Hooney, Tiger, Keyshawn, Nakatani. That's 5-1. And if you switch out, if you don't like Hooney, just put in your boy Fabio, and it'll still pay, I think, 3-1. So that's already in. I've already gone heavy on that. Not like over 1,000 or anything, but for me, it's a fun little bet. And I got to back Hooney's considering I picked them on my video. So that's kind of, I don't got the Tiger fight. Damn, that's crazy. It'll show up tomorrow, I bet. Now the long parlay, guys, we could go over it. You could grab a pen. There's 20 fights. Let me know if you got these. And it starts in Canada. I got Unal, Yarslanov, which is a tough guy. I watched the tape on this guy. Chris Guerrero. And if you got true boxing heads will know who Guerrero is. And then if you go to there's that fight card that's being hyped up on my YouTube. People are paying to promote it in the Hall of Fame. It's that Hall of Fame fight card. Bryce Mills is fighting. Devell Smith is fighting. Price Taylor's fighting. Joseph Hicks is fighting. So there's a lot of younger guys from that region. A lot of New York guys on that card. And I don't want to say they're feeder fights, but I always use the word feeder. De Los Santos for the win. Eligos, if we see the De Los Santos we saw against Rayo, it's going to be a tough fight for Keyshawn. But Keyshawn's not the same guy. You know, it's going to be, I'm excited for that fight. Davis hasn't faced anyone like him. I don't think that De Los Santos has faced anyone like Keyshawn either, though. And to be honest with you, De Los Santos hasn't faced anyone in 18 months. Free money, it seems, love all the cards. Yeah, Wallaby King. What a great name, Wallaby King. Aussie in the house. Wallaby, what part of Australia are you from? Guys, wherever you are, like this video. We're 30 minutes in. We got 48 people watching. Just simply hit the like button. That helps the video prop up. Also, the channel's growing. Last month was insane. Sticking to the game plan, creating my breakdown, analysis, and prediction videos. Plus, we added the live stream. De Los Santos only have one punch. He's one-dimensional. I think so too. The one thing I am impressed on, the more tape I watch, if you watch the Adorno fight and watch the Rayo fight, is he is capable of having good countering. But we know that comes with intuition and staying active. You lose sort of like a little bit when you're not active, and we know at that division, and we know at Keyshawn, when you have a guy like this, and then you haven't been active, I think that's a huge thing, man. So if somebody wants to defend De Los Santos' inactivity and still give me a reason why he beats Keyshawn, let me know. Yeah, Elegos. Yeah, I know. Oh, from Texas. Great nickname, though. Well, all of you. I thought you were from Australia. Keyshawn's a living pedigree. Slept on. He's seen so many styles. He's rested. Okay, Badger. So we'll say he's rested, all right? DLS right hook is, yeah, his right hook is dangerous. And when he hurts you, but both guys are dangerous. The thing about it is what De Los Santos' fans should be excited about is that Keyshawn is going to trade with him. You know what I mean? His chin will be tested. De Los Santos will test his chin. Keyshawn's not Shakur. He's not going to use the defense. He's not going to use the entire ring as well. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I'm just leaning on the fact that what I see in the tape, what I've watched, especially with leveling up, how fighters do, and we got to talk about Bomac. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about, his camp, Keyshawn. We got to talk about, who he surrounds himself with. The tutelage of Bud Crawford, being that close with Shakur. Shakur having fought De Los Santos already. Shakur being able to tell Keyshawn the sort of nuanced approach to take with him. The fight being in Norfolk, Virginia. His whole family being there. Him being a world champion. All of these things, guys, you got to put into Keyshawn's bag. What I'm hearing with De Los Santos is that he's rested. I'm not putting my money on that. There's no way. Now, if I was like a hater, I know some of the some people are haters on favorites and some people are gamblers who take the underdog, but you're not giving me reasoning for De Los Santos. If you're just saying that I don't like Keyshawn, or I'm Dominican and I like Edwin, or I like the odds because Edwin's the underdog, your reasoning doesn't hold true for my opinion where I'm going to put my bet. So that's why I like Keyshawn. Albright. Somebody mentioned Albright versus Kelvin. Albright is, if you're talking about his fight with, repeat that though. I just saw it fly. I don't want to misspeak when somebody mentioned Albright. I just saw his name flash on my screen because he's fighting Keyshawn's brother. Okay, Swindle. Let's stick to the game plan. Shakur, are we going to the blueprint or how to beat De Los Santos? Or how to... I'm just saying Shakur is one of his close mates, PJ, and sometimes in a fight, in a future fight, and you're close with an opponent, a past opponent, there's certain things that, Shakur, that Keyshawn could lean on, maybe about, a tell, or what De Los Santos feels like, or what he does here, or when the fight's in the middle, or when you're circling away from the power. Maybe Shakur is high fight IQ. So the dude, the kid is a savant. Something that all you have to do is watch Shakur from the amateur days. Shakur, he sees the sport. Mar the Prince, taking fight, goes the distance, props, Davis, Albright, and Johnson versus Boca Chica. I like it. I could see both. I could see those going the distance. Was Clip and Davis. Did you watch that fight? Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. That's what I thought. But that's not the same Davis, guys. That's not the same Davis. And Mar, your Tiger Johnson going the distance. If that Tiger's not the same guy either. Watch Tiger's last fight. I could see Tiger stopping Boca Chica. Stevenson gave the blueprint on how to beat. Yeah, but exactly. Using the whole ring, circling away from the right hand. And you got to think that Keyshawn is going to take a little bit of that and sprinkle that on with already his game. But Keyshawn's not going to move like Shakur moved, and Keyshawn can't move like Shakur moves. So they're different fighters, and it's going to be a different fight. And I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I don't see either guy laying a dud. I think we're going to see the 25 and 26, man. These two young men are going to give the fans a show. Norfolk, the Scope Arena is going to be electric. I know some of you guys messaged me yesterday. If you're in the Virginia area, I would definitely go to that card. There's some great fights on that card. We already talked about, Keyshawn's brothers are on the card. Abdullah's fighting. Tiger's fighting. Tiger does look... He does, man. He looked totally... And Kendo Castaneda is a nice little veteran, mate. Exactly. Kendo never been stopped. I think Kendo had 7 losses going into that fight, but Kendo's a nice little fighter. He knows his way around the ring. I got Cepeda taking Shakur to hell. I got Cepeda. Dude, I'm a fan of William Cepeda, and I'm glad that fight got signed. I just think that what Cepeda does really well with his pressure, his volume, his pace, I think sometimes he leaves, I don't know if he's going to have anything that Shakur's going to be worried about. You're going to be at that fight. That's amazing. I know the sexy pick with Shakur and Cepeda, people are taking Cameron. I think that pressure forward style with with kind of limited one-punch power is kind of tailor-made for Shakur to look good. I believe Tiger takes him to school. Same. Me too. And maybe it's, when you taking Keyshawn via stoppage inside of 10, I could see that. Plus 225. That's nice money. That I could definitely see that as well. I'm going to be at the Shakur. GOAT. Dude, props to you, man. I'd love to be at that fight. I'm kind of restricted by being landlocked on this floating island. I respect Shakur for taking the fight. When President Zepeda most his ability to jab Farmer just bought the tickets yesterday. Zepeda. Yeah, what did you guys think about the last Zepeda fight? Because I've always been really high on Zepeda, but watching Farmer be able to do what he did against him, didn't get the victory. Oh, happy Wednesday salute. Dwayne Styles, I've been up since 3:35 a.m. Just got happy Wednesday to you. Dwayne, it's Thursday to me. So it is 7:06 a.m. Thursday morning. I'm live streaming from Sydney, Australia. If you're new to the page, I am American. I've been down here since 2013. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio, boxing town. Grew up with Kelly Pavlik. Boom Boom Mancini was a childhood hero of mine. Ernie Shavers is a legend where I come from. Shavers is from Northeast Ohio. And when I talk about boxing, I always have to talk. That's why I'm excited about the card. Because Abdullah and Tiger from Northeast Ohio. Farmer is grit and style. Yeah, Farmer looked good, man. And Zepeda didn't really. I thought Zepeda would be able to handle him a bit differently. Midwest Mafia, Badger in the house. That's what I'm saying, Don Julio. That's what I'm saying. Very hittable. And if Farmer had pop in his hands, he'd put him out. And if Farmer, that's true, Koki. Yeah. And I think Farmer lacks sometimes a bit of not necessarily pop, but like the timing on sitting on his shots. Farmer impressed me, man. He just got signed. My mind's slipping because I stay week to week, but Tevin's just got another big fight. And he's so close. Tevin Farmer's one of those fighters, his legacy, a couple of decisions either way, so close from being in the conversation about, one of his generation's top tier talents, because the kid could box, man. He's such a good boxer. And I don't know if Zepeda was exposed, but I was expecting Zepeda to handle Tevin a bit easier than he did. And that GOAT, man. Johnny on the spot. Meech, see what I'm saying? I don't know about it. Yeah, I don't know. Same. 40 out of 50 around. Farmer will always make a fight close. Yeah, Farmer's beating Kid Austin. But that's a good fight, B-Money, right? I'm going to tune into that because who is Kid Austin, right? We know who Floyd Schofield is. But, I mean, with the drama of what happened with pulling out of the fight against Core, exactly said. When I say who is Floyd Schofield, he doesn't have an identity, in my opinion, on the world level, on the pro level. I think he's going to have an opportunity to carve out his identity against Tevin. I don't know if he beats Tevin, man. Who do you guys like in that fight? I don't know if Floyd beats Tevin. I mean, we'll see. If Tevin's still operating like we think he's going to operate, he's been active too. I know. Tevin is a nightmare for any fighter. People, we love to talk about perfect records. I know. It's just crazy to me that he had to come out and do a press conference and say he had Tourette's. It's like, we knew you had Tourette's, mate. But I guess the commenters were clowning him. Close fight for sure. I think Farmer, like we talked about, losing close decisions, but his skill set, his overall bag that he has, dude, he'd be a nightmare to box. I love that story from him. Yeah, Zoo is opening versus Fandora. I got Tim taking the rematch. Farmer always comes up short. I know. Farmer's mid-30s. Think about some of Sandor Martin's losses. I'm not saying they have similar styles, but in terms of career legacy or what could have been, Sandor Martin loses a lot of close fights too, similar to Farmer, in such that he loses rounds slightly, and fights that you thought Martin should have won, he doesn't. Same with Farmer. There's parallels there. Yeah, and I only sided with Puello because in our breakdown I picked Puello. I think Farmer's 34. That sounds about right. I'm thinking he's 34 too, somewhere at 34, 35. Martin hurt Puello early, and Sandor looked amazing in that fight early. And Teo, Sandor Martin is a tough out too. I thought beat Puello, and I had money on same GOAT. When they were reading that decision, even though I won money and we took Puello and I won my parlay. Okay, so we're right on track. Somebody mentioned Zoo versus Fandora. Yeah, Martin has sneaky power. He just always he always seems to fall short. How about Puello being the dog right now against Matias? Because I don't know, man. I think Alberto Puello is a tough out for anyone. Sandor that night against Puello. What do you guys think of Zoo versus Fundora? I know somebody asked. Yeah, I think Puello beats. I think Alberto beats Matias as well. What fight tomorrow am I going heavy on, guys? Because there's a lot. There's the odds really aren't super in our favor to really go super heavy. I'm doing that long parlay. I'm doing that long parlay. But I put a couple hundred on it. Puello, the technician, not betting. Same each. I love everything. In Pagan versus Bernardin. I think I have that fight. Pagan. I think Josh wins that fight. Yeah, I don't think Zoo's the same guy. All right. Give me 20 seconds, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to read any comments because Goat's my boy. These are the 20 legs, Goat. I'm not going to stop. Memik Unal, $1.13. Bjarslanov, $1.08. Guerrero, $1.06. Mills, $1.11. Devell Smith, $1.08. Price Taylor, $1.06. DeZern, $1.08. Antonio Perez fighting Martin, $1.17. I like Joseph Hicks over Wendy Toussaint, $1.26. I like Joseph Pagan over Bernardin, $1.19. Red Johnson's fighting Harley Collison, $1.11. Stringer versus Baker, $1.06. I'm taking Stringer. Mike Perez, the 39-year-old Cuban who's been adopted by the Northern Ireland people. Cuban Perez is fighting Stephen Ward on is $1.36. I like the 39-year-old in that fight. It's a fun fight. Reese Edwards at $1.19. Mark Jeffers at $1.13. Callum Simpson at $1.13. Emilio Moreno is fighting Eric Boone at $1.11. And then Michael Angeletti. I was wondering if they're going to let us bet on it. I like Angeletti at $1.15. I like Paldo at $1.10. And then I threw Troy Isley on $1.09. Yeah. So there they go. And I left off, obviously, all the fights we covered. I always like doing a parlay, leaving off. It's like an obscure parlay, right? What fight should I put a couple hundred on tomorrow? Now, what odds are you trying to look for, PJ? Because I really like the... check out Mike Perez if I'm making this. All right, Wallaby King, I'll print it out too. Check out Mike Perez if you're unfamiliar with him. He's a Cuban. He's 39. He's had that sort of Indian summer career like we talked about all the time. Moneyline. Anthony Kakache, guys who find... Goat, you're welcome. Brandon Moore versus Stanley Brown. I think I like Brandon Moore in that fight. Let me double check. I think the odds on that fight are good too. I want to see if I took Brandon Moore. That's the New York card, right? Minnesota? Yeah. Brandon Moore. That adds a little bit of chalk to you. Are you doing an MOV parlay? Method of victory? Yeah. I'm going to do that tomorrow, guys. The method of victory parlay will be on my 6:30 a.m. live stream. I need a little... Here in Australia, they're not letting us even pick method of victories lately until like the Friday, my Friday, your Thursday. So give me a second. So give me till tomorrow. And there are fights that, I'm rolling. If I could take Abdullah by stoppage, if I could take Nakatani by late stoppage, I'm going to take those. There's a couple to go the distance that I like. Somebody mentioned Tiger to go the distance. I'm flip-flopping. I'm not sure if I like that yet, but I want to see what the odds pay. I don't like just picking the method of victory unless they open it up and I could actually make the bet. Somebody asked about Ramirez. I think I have him on my parlay, my early parlay. Damn, there's so many fights, guys. It's kind of giving me anxiety. Key stops DLS in 7. Cut creator. I love precise picks. I think someone is getting slept. I agree. I love people who come with the precise. Hey, guys, anyone tuning in, do you guys ever get round stoppages right? And if so, let me know when you did. Tiger won't go the distance. Yeah. Jay Grizzy, I'm on the Tiger bandwagon. I think so, too. Taking Jai via stoppage. Good odds. I like it, Marlon Prince. Jai's that's going to be an early night. People down here in Australia, the Australian media are pissed that Jai is even fighting this guy. Xavier Matias is better pressure than anyone has faced. Just don't hide from this chat. July. People come with receipts out here, man. All right, guys, it's 7:15. I got to go meet up with my girl real quick. I'm going to then upload my Nakatani video, and then I'm going to do another live stream in a couple hours later in the day. You guys are beasts. Good luck to everybody. We'll be back.